good win on the weekend. No fresh injuries. It didn't seem like to come out of it, which is a positive as well.
No, we're pretty clear on that front, which is nice to see. So every week you go through without one of those is a nice outcome. And expecting a few on return this week. Obviously, Connor he'll come back in this week. Todd Marshall, who missed with his back, will be available. Lockie Jones, we're expecting to be okay as well. So the ones that comes off the top of my head, they'll be available.
Gee, what a nice problem to have. I mean, just on Connor, firstly, a great luxury to be able to bring back a gun into a very good team.
Yeah, well, the forward line group is been pretty impressive. All through pre-season, the speed on the floor was always going to be one of our strongest attributes, and we've brought that to the early games, which is great. We've been super efficient. If you look back even to the North game, you'd probably say our efficiency probably won us the game, really. But we added a couple other things into our game last week against Essendon, which obviously got us away to a great start. But our forwards are really getting up the ground and getting back with real speed and finishing really well.
Just on, obviously, Mitch had a fantastic game for the Jardies. What does that mean for Todd? Can you play both of them with Charlie in the same side, or does it make it hard for Todd?
No, I mean, I think form. We've always said form will determine what necessarily happens. So certainly coming in, Mitch couldn't do any more, really. So it's asked the question. It's something that we won't entertain so much today, but it's certainly a conversation piece that we'll have very early on in the week and find out where we go with it. But it's always nice if you've got players in form, and that can sort of determine your direction sometimes. Well, we won't go into too much of the specifics of who misses, but I can probably assure you that he's going to come into the team. Look, he's available and fit, and if he gets through the whole week and it's uninterrupted, we feel like that's the final piece of the puzzle he needs to put together, and then he'll be available to play. So him in our side, much more dangerous. It adds to our versatility and our depth in our side, and that's been a strength of ours so far.
With who you got, Vossy, can you be too tall with George Jones? I mean, there's talk that they can't coexist with Latham, etc. Can they all play together in one tournament?
Well, we don't know yet, do we? Because they haven't played together. So I mean, until that time comes, we really don't know. But again, I think sometimes you can sort of look at their, what their height measurements are, or you can sort of look at their attributes, and we tend to pay more attention to their attributes. And they all can get on the floor, and they've all got speed, and I wouldn't want to be chasing any one of them. So from our perspective, if they can coexist. If they can coexist and work together well, then it's something that we can certainly entertain, whether it's this week or throughout the season.
You see the game better than most. Anything that you didn't like on the weekend?
Well, I think we were able to put together a really, really solid performance. We asked a few things out of the back of last week's game. We felt like we got jumped against North Melbourne and maybe weren't quite ready for the contest. That wasn't the case this week. The guys answered the call and they responded accordingly, and they gave us a great scoreboard, some scoreboard pressure early on. So that essentially sets up the rest of your game. And I thought it was a really, really strong performance. And we've got a different sort of test coming, and we know how difficult the West Coast are, and just how big of a challenge that they present on their home deck, and it's pretty formidable. So we've got an important week coming up.
Kenny sort of touched on it after the game, but you feel like you're better this time around than you were, say, last year? You were so close last year. Feel like already you've taken a step forward?
Oh, we're better. We targeted some key areas last year, and obviously the obvious thing to look at is the personnel that come into that part of the ground, and that's been well talked about, who we've recruited and has come into our side. But we spent a lot of energy in a couple of other areas of our game, and one of those was our ability to be able to transition the ball and be more dangerous when we have the ball in our hands, and without trying to give up too much of the great gains we made in our contest and the way we defend the ground. We've been pretty good at that for a number of years, but our ability to be able to transition the ball and get it up the other end with some speed and is proving a challenge for oppositions at the moment, and it's a nice little weapon to have.
Zach Butters surprised you, or did you?
No, there's no surprise with Butters. Like from the day he walked in, he's been energetic and competitive, and he's a super impressive individual, and he just wants to get better all the time. And The plan was always to bring some of those younger guys in through the midfield this year, and he spent a fair bit of his pre-season through there, as Connor has, and a few other guys. So we'll continue to mix that up. It won't be butters every single week, but he sure was impressive on the weekend.
Obviously, starting to get noticed just outside of Port Adelaide as well. Do you think teams may start putting some more time into him, maybe not playing like he did on the weekend?
Oh, maybe, but I think he'd welcome it. As you become better as a team across this competition, there's more things to talk about, more things to notice, more things to try and take away. So our challenge is how we play our Port Adelaide football, no matter the environment, the opposition we're playing against. And we don't have enough games to say that that's so yet. We've still got a lot to prove to ourselves, and that we can do it. We feel like we've obviously improved in a lot of areas, but there's not enough games yet to be able to sort of work out where that all sits comparative to the opposition.
Where's you've got pretty much a healthy list, but Sam Pepper obviously has some time away. Is he back in Adelaide yet, or is he still away from the club?
No, he's still around. Pep, managed to catch up with him last week, so no, he's going well. Timelines haven't been set, but certainly in the coming weeks, days, he'll obviously come back into the group. So, I wouldn't have that information on when that actually is right now.
That's good news. Obviously, he's in a better headspace, which is great.
Yeah, he's in a great space, and we said from the start this was all about his welfare and making sure that's right. And he's spoken about getting a few things right before he comes back in, and we've fully embraced that and fully supportive of it.
It's a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Part of it, but I mean, we're still a team that we'd like to think we're still a front of centre team. I guess the rules, and again, it's a little bit too early to tell exactly what the implications have been across the entire competition for a whole season, but it certainly seems like there's more opportunities to be able to transition the ball with some speed, and we've been able to do that well so far, but I think the competition's been able to take that little challenge on as well. So we'll have to manage the risk of that, but at the same time, it's presenting some good opportunities for us.
Would you say the leaders having the impact you wanted so far? 2 games in, I know, but it seems to be intercepting really well.
Yeah, well, I guess we can operate off a couple of games, but we've also got the benefit of a pre-season, and we're pretty confident early on that he's going to bring what we need. I mean, he hunts intercept. He's not afraid to go for the ball in the air, and that's what we wanted. And we talked about getting faster out of back half, and any time you can take the ball in the air and move the ball, it's going to move faster. So, but you're never too sure how someone moves into your system when you've got something slightly different to where they've been in the past, and how quickly they adapt and how they can coexist with their other defenders. And mate, he's fitted in really well. He's a very popular team member.